today we've got St. Croix Foundation for Community Development with us here today. And I invited them here, very special. I wish I had known earlier, because I would have had them here from before and then again, because St. Croix Foundation is doing so much for our community, has been doing so much for our community, and has a game plan into the future to do things for our community. And we love that, because it's not just about today, it's not just about looking back, that kind of reflection at the past, but looking at seeing how you want your future to look like. So I'm going to say good morning, and I'd let you go ahead and introduce yourself. I already done grandstand and everything else here, so I'm going to turn it all to you.
Good morning. My name is Deanna James. I'm the Executive Director of the St. Croix Foundation. I've been with the foundation for going on 13 years, doing really, really good work. And today we celebrate our 25th anniversary. It's been a long, wonderful, very productive road for the foundation. And today we're going to take a moment to just stop and say thank you to all of our partners, our sponsors, our donors, our past and present board members, reflect a little on what we've accomplished over the last 25 years, and begin refocusing and redoubling our efforts for the future.
Well, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
WSTX is a community-minded station, and whenever you've got things going on that the community needs to know about, not just my show, but the station and its emphasis is on making sure our community is empowered with the knowledge to be a part of the solution.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, 25 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And you spent 13 of those 25 years.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what. Let's look at some of the things that happened over the past 25 or 13 years. Let's talk about some of those things. Refresh the community.
Yeah. So the foundation was founded literally a year, almost the day after Hurricane Hugo. And so if you remember what our community was like back then, and the devastation, property, the economic impact of the hurricane. Initially, the focus for the foundation was on community and economic development. It continues to be, but the structural part of the revitalization of our community at the time was a primary focus. And so a lot of people know the foundation for the work we've done primarily in downtown Christiansted. In total, we, through our Scrape Paint Rejuvenate program, have rehabilitated probably 200 properties in Christiansted. We worked with our town, Frederiksted, to expand the program into Frederiksted, and then also into Charlotte Amalia, St. Thomas. And so in total, over 300 properties were impacted and restored because of the foundation's work.
Wait now.
So that's just the beginning.
You reaching all the way over into St. Thomas?
Of course,
My
we
goodness.
are.
No, St. Croix. We got more work to do. We got to make sure we get all those resources and be selfish and keep it.
While our name is the St. Croix Foundation, the impact of our work is territory-wide.
And that's fantastic, because we're going to go up or down as a whole community, not just island by island.
Exactly.
That's important. Okay.
And so we, of course, economic development was also a priority at that time. Just trying to restore economic, vibrancy to the territory, but in particular St. Croix at that time. And so we had a very successful initially small business lending program that was responsible for the expansion or startup of, I think, over 60 small businesses on St. Croix. We had a very, very successful women's business center that was named the top women's business center in the nation.
Right.
Yes, it was primarily created at the time when there was that movement to move women from welfare to the workforce, and so that program was very, very successful and impactful in getting a lot of women started as entrepreneurs and into the workforce. Since then, we have built a very, very strong portfolio for fiscal sponsorships. We manage the funds and projects for over 50 small nonprofits and small initiatives in the community. Over the 25 years we've been around, we have worked with over 200 projects throughout the territory. Anything from Chant, Cretan Heritage and Nature Tourism, Stop the Bleeding, the Women's Initiative, all of those, Music in Motion. I could go on. It's a very, very long list.
It's a long list, and from time to time we'll use it like seasoning and pepper up the pot a little bit and come back to it. Well, I believe I have someone here on the line. Caller, you there?
Yes.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
A pleasant good morning to you, Dougie.
Pleasant good morning to you,
The
too.
reason I had to hold on, I want to let you know that I'm very, very thankful for your program. Your program is such a positive program, and there are so many negative things that we could look at, but we shouldn't do that. We should look at the positive things, and we have so much to be thankful for. I don't know whether it is the moon or what, but this morning I get up and I'm feeling pretty good.
All right.
I got to be thankful for that. We have to be thankful for our family, our kids. But don't look too much on the negative side of things. And from the time you start in the morning, just the speaking will cheer up people. You know? And like you say, a smile means a lot. You know, you could be walking down the street and you just see somebody and you smile, and that person get a good feeling inside. Long ago we had to tell everybody morning, good afternoon and everything. But I just had to call and tell you thanks for your program, because it is very, very positive.
Well, I appreciate your comments, and I'm going to tell you, you know, like how life is. Everybody have their ups and down time, but from the time I sit down in the chair and that music start to play, everything that isn't positive gone out the window. It's something about that music. I love that music, and I really treasure this opportunity to spread the positive.
That is very nice. That is the way to look at life, because life is short when you look at it, you know.
Yeah, I tell you.
Well, you keep up the good works, and a blessed day to you.
Thank you so much. Good cigar to you.
Oh, well, good cigar.
All right. Take care. All right. Bye. All right, fantastic.
I feel like I'm at home. I work in a very positive place, and despite all the challenges going on around us here on St. Croix and throughout the territory, I feel really, really blessed to work in a place where every day we get up and, number one, we see the fruits of our labor, and number two, we are always working towards solutions to problems. And when people come to us, it's always because they believe that we can be part of the solution to a very critical issue. And
you said the word. You've got to, and it's on your flyer, believe.
Believe. That
You've
is,
got to
we
believe.
live with that.
That's right.
On everything we do, it is our internal motto, our external motto. It governs all the decisions that we make, how we think about problems.
That's
in
right.
this community.
Doubt will take you nowhere fast.
That's right.
Nowhere fast, and that's not our destination.
Yeah.
We got other places we've got to go. All right. Now, one of the things that I had some interaction with St. Croix Foundation years and years ago is as your being the third-party fiduciary. Since at one time I was the chairman of Health and Hospitals, and I remember working with you in that regards way back when, and I'm glad that you were there to serve in that capacity to facilitate what was going on then as far as bringing those funds here and managing those funds here in the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
But we've got a lot of other things, and you started talking about some of these communities, organizations that you've touched.
Yes.
Okay, I hope you have a whole lot more that you can sprinkle in from time to time. It's serious, because
It is.
people need to know. I had Rotary in here. And those folks thought they were going to come in here for 15 minutes and talk about their function coming up. I said, no. Rotary does so much in the
That's
community.
right.
Let's talk about your scholarships. Let's talk about Boys and Girls Club. Let's talk about the wheelchairs. Let's talk about the things that you do in the community that dwarf the admission fee in that context with the function that they were having.
Yes.
And in that sense, I know you've touched many, and so please sprinkle on a little pepper and salt and keep the pot tasting good.
So the AED fund.
AED.
Yes.
Tell people what an AED is now. No, well, it's a defibrillator. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you,
but
it's an automatic external defibrillator.
defibrillator.
I wanna
Okay.
make sure I get it right.
And no, but I'm going to go a step further than that. The fact of the matter is, if you work in a place or that has more than 50 people
That's right.
on those premises,
that's right.
okay, they have to have an AED, and basically it's a box that packs an electrical charge and has two paddles. You see it on TV, you know, and when they give that call and everybody backs off and they put the thing on the chest and boom, all right? Well, you know, a heart attack can happen to anybody. Anytime, anywhere. And so that's the focus when you have facilities with that number of people. They have to have one of those on site so that in the event that they have a situation that someone trained can utilize it to save a life.
And you know, the story behind it is so representative of why I think we love the work we do so much, because we are a small organization. But because of the fiscal sponsorship work that we do, we have this broad wingspan and deep impact. And so the story behind that, our very dear partner, Cher Will, had a very personal experience where a very good friend of theirs was having a heart attack, and they happened to have AED in their home. Ran home, got it, and saved a life. And she was so inspired by the fact that her little AED was able to save a life that she started raising money, and now I think she has them in almost every school, every fire station, every police station. She's now expanding to St. Thomas. Just, you know, the power of one, you know, and to make a difference.
The power of one.
Scientist is one person.
Yeah, you look at
Yeah.
her, you look at Lagoon and how Lagoon has been changed
That's
up.
right.
The power of one.
That's right.
So you jump in and add your one, it becomes two.
That's right.
And you bring your friends, it becomes 3, 4, 5. But starting with the power of one.
Yes.
All right? And you know, the challenge that I've found being someone who was involved in government is that the spirit sometimes is not embraced, because sometimes they look at it, how much it costs to get it, how much it costs to train people and so forth, but what does it cost not to have it?
That's right.
A life. And what value do you put on a life?
You know, and what Cher was able to do with our little bit of our support is incredible. One person, and the amount of people that just believed in what she was doing, believed in the spirit behind what she was doing, that all of the barriers and obstacles that I think a lot of people put in front of them when, you know, they think of a project like this were just melted away, because people recognize, number one, the need. They recognize her sincerity in making a difference. And so, you know, our community is better because of it and because of her.
Amen. And this is how you do it. Power of one person at a time. Okay? Now, I'm going to say this because I'm going to take a little bit of liberty here. And my experience in government, when it's training and it's the higher-ups and a trip and everything else, they're all gung-ho. But the training for the grassroots people who can be there at the spot to save a life, boy, they're stingy. Anyhow, I'm going to get back on that horse another time. But I just thought I'd throw that barb in there, because if it makes someone stop and think, you know, we did talk about 3 or 4 board meetings 3 years ago about getting these installed. Please, folks.
Yeah.
Make a move and do what needs to be done. See how you can work in conjunction with an organization like STX Foundation, not only to make it happen, but maybe to get it to a non-profit organization that has our children hanging out there and they may have an emergency. All right. Okay. So, ADs.
So another project, you mentioned Mary Dima, that's how you heard about our event today. She came to us and she had an idea to try to bring some of the old families from Christiansted town, Hillsiders and Galisbarians and everybody together to start working on revitalizing Christiansted and deepening the impact of the work we've done in Christiansted. And she has been so successful at what she's done. Her energy, she's brought people that really wanted to do something but didn't know where to get started together to make a difference. And every week she's in our office with another project trying to restore the vibrancy and economic vitality of Christiansted town. And so she's become an incredible partner for the foundation. And one of the things that we say often is that we try to work our way out of a job. And so we did all this work in downtown Christiansted to repaint buildings and board buildings and clear properties. And for a long time felt very lonely in that work, didn't feel like we had a lot of support from the community and other stakeholders to stand with us and to support the work we're doing. And now to see that one person has stepped up and we can sort of transition that effort to somebody whose energies may be a little bit more focused than ours right now.
Let me throw out a suggestion here. And this is not focused toward St. Croix Foundation as to any organization in the community. That door to door, just like you campaigning, because it is a campaign. And by the door to door, you get to meet people, and and you have your flyers. So if nobody's home, you could leave a flyer, that type of thing. And I say that, right? I had an experience where one afternoon I was coming home and I ran into all of this traffic. An organization in town had a new building, and apparently they had an event for the opening of that building. I live right around the corner, knew nothing of it. On top of that was inconvenience at the time by what was going on. And you could see how at that point in time my feelings may not have been the best. But I've gotten past that. I've gotten past. That's just the immediate going home road rage. And I say that, you hear me laughing because it is funny. It is not serious in that context, right? But we've got to make sure that we touch the people in the neighborhood. And let them know that we're real people and you're real people, and we want you on our team. And that's where the work really comes in. You know, and I say this, when I was involved in public office, the best part for me was the campaign. I was out there almost 24 hours a day, if you had let me. And after the campaign, I was so in shape because I was out there from door to door. And it wasn't about the campaign, it was about the people you got to meet. All right? And I say that you meet all kinds of people. Okay? And I'll share a little experience that I had, because you can't be deterred sometimes by the people that you meet. Because I went to this one place and there was an elderly lady, and I introduced myself to them and so forth. And they turned around and bust me some bad word and some nastiness. And here I am with a group of young people. And I said, "Miss, you stop right there. I am here being respectful to you, and there are these young people here with me who see you as an elder and an example." What type of example? You stop. You know, they shut their mouth, and they were actually embarrassed because they realized what they had done. And in that context, I wasn't being nasty to that person as much so as I was doing what I thought was the right thing. And in fact, thankfully, they could see and adjust their attitude and their behavior accordingly. And so I'm saying that because I know it ain't easy when you go door to door. You meet some real characters sometimes in that regard, but you got to do it, because if they don't feel the buy-in, because they'll give you some words, but say, you know, at least they come and talk to us, and you'll be surprised who'll become your strongest ally in the process. Okay? So I'm throwing that out. I live in Christiansted.
We do too.
And I'm on the team, you know. I talk with Mary Dima, and now I'm talking with you, and so the things I'm talking about doing is something that I can be a part of, and more eyes
Yes.
can be a part of.
Absolutely.
So you know how it is. These people come up with these solutions that are exclusive of
Yes,
them. So
yeah.
I'm not excluding myself as part of the solution. Not at all.
Yeah. I mean, for us, honestly, when we used to live in Gallows Bay, and when the old Chase Bank building that we reside in now was completed, we made the decision to move into the Sunday Market Square. And I'm not gonna lie, there were some concerns about the environment we were moving into. We knew that there, a lot of aspects of our town that are savory, and we have an office full of women, and we were concerned. And what's been one of the most interesting and encouraging things about us being located, putting our money where our mouth is and being located in town, is that we've developed incredible relationships with all of our neighbors.
Yes.
Very interesting, some very colorful neighbors, but
Yes, but they have a
they're
story.
part of our community. They're
And-
part of the tapestry of our towns.
And they
our
have a
community.
story, and when
do.
when they realize that you truly are interested in
Oh,
their
yeah,
story,
they're our friends.
they
Yeah.
become friends and supporters in their own way.
Yeah.
And you struck on something, and I want to give kudos to you as an organization for doing this, because in too many ways we in our community surrender areas of our community. And we've got to stop surrendering.
No, yeah.
We've got to take it back. If it's like that, then we get cameras in that area.
That's right.
Then we
That's what
get
we've
more
done.
services in that area. We have to take back our community, not surrender.
No.
Okay, not go back and say that belonged to them.
One of the things that I think people don't realize, so the foundation owns, if you're heading out of town, we own the entire left side of the block in Sunday Market Square. So we own the Alexander Theater, we own the building that used to be Attorney Diane Russell's office, and there's some low-income apartments above that, and then we own another property catacorner to Sings, which used to be the Archibald Insurance Building. We also own the old Winston Hodge Law Office, where the bike patrol. And so one of the things that we did, really trying to think of how to use our properties in a way that addresses the needs of the community that they're located in. We have the police bike patrol unit in our property for free for over 12 years.
Thank you. Thank you.
For
Thank
free.
you. Thank you.
Yes, we have Catholic Charities Soup Kitchen in another property for free for over 12 years.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And recognizing that these are issues that had to be addressed, safety had to be addressed, the homeless issue that we have in town had to be addressed. And so we've tried to be quietly, a lot of people don't know, quietly trying to really be thoughtful about how we use our properties and how we develop a vision for Christiansted Town. And so of all the things I think we are proud of, I think it's that we know every day we come in that service for the community above self has been our approach to the work that we do, and I think that gives us and our work purpose.
Well, I'm going to criticize you now. I think you're being a little bit too quiet for too long.
Yes, we are working on that. It's hard to stop working.
I understand.
And to pat yourself on the back, but we're balancing it. We have to balance the work we're doing with letting people know how impactful and how we're actually touching a lot of people's lives that don't even know that we're touching them. And so we're working on that. That's one of our goals for the next 5 to 10 years, is to make sure that everyone knows all the good work that we're doing.
Each one of us at some point in time, sometimes as insignificant as we may think we are, you have to think that sometimes that things happen because the Creator has, in essence, taken a hold of us and guided us to do something. Because I am so happy that I had that meeting with Mary Dima, that she would have brought this to my attention.
Yes.
And wow, here you are, because you needed to be here in the context of the things that we're talking about. And I'm saying this whenever you're going to embark on a new initiative, think about us. Whenever there is some milestone that's coming up, think about us. It doesn't mean that you have to sit down here necessarily. It can be by telephone. It can
Press
be
release.
in a way that complements the fact that you have work to do.
Yes.
All right? And which this is part of the work here today, by the way. And they pay you, not me. So it's fantastic that everything has come together like this. And that we're able to share these things with the community. I really, I think about it as divine intervention.
Yes, yes, wonderful.
Okay.
So our public safety work, for many years we worked very closely, like I said, with the department, the police department, and training, paying for dogs. Roger, Dewey, and myself sat on the community integration team, which was a leg of the community outreach work that the police department was doing. We were founding members of that entity, and for about 4 years I sat on that and increasingly got frustrated, because one of the things that we try to stay mindful of at the foundation is to always focus on the root causes of problems, not putting band-aids on issues or dealing with them after the fact.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
as a result of that work, we shifted, and one of the things we did do, and I want to just put a shout out to the foundation for the fact that many years ago, when the Christiansted Restaurant Retail Association was worried about crime in Christiansted, talked about raising money to install security cameras, the foundation said, well, hold a second, why don't you all raise money for a grant writer, and we will help with the development of a grant for security cameras. And so we did. We secured, I think, close to $500,000 for the police department that installed the initial cameras, Christiansted, Frederiksted, and Charlotte Amalie, and I think Cruz Bay. And so, and then maintain them with private funds for 7 years. And so we did a lot with public safety. And for me, as I sat down looking at it, I kept saying, we're kind of addressing the problem after it's become a problem, and started focusing more on education for me as a root cause of what we were dealing with our public safety issues. And so in about 2004 or 5, we shifted a lot of our focus and our resources to start looking at education as an important engine and vehicle for economic vitality in our community and workforce development. And so I have spent the better part of the last 10 years really working hard at looking at how to provide resources to our schools and to ensure that we have a skilled workforce. And we talk about economic development all the time, and my question to everyone when I sit at a table is economic development for whom? Because if our young people cannot participate in it, then what are we, what's the purpose? And so we have deepened, every single year we've deepened our understanding and our commitment to education, initially buying books. Don't do that anymore. It take a lot to convince the foundation to invest money in books at this juncture, but really looking deeper into the issue. And in the future, one of the things we're working on right now is, in conjunction with the Department of Education, University of the Virgin Islands, is the creation of a teaching laboratory to try to develop from within and build capacity around the quality of our teachers in our classrooms as a root cause to how our children are performing, and then also to the crime issue that we have in the community. And so I feel really, really optimistic about the way in which we explore issues, understand issues, and then try to identify solutions that we think will have the deepest impact.
All right. Well, you talked about the cameras. You said a whole lot. You said a whole lot, including the cameras.
Yes.
And the cameras were a great, fantastic, outstanding, just plain excellent first step. Mm-hmm. One of the challenges that I find, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to talk with the commissioner as well as his IT people, not necessarily together, it could be apart. Because there's certain things that I would like to see happen in the context, not but you gotta have a strategy. When you start talking about getting to the root cause, imagine what you did with those cameras. And I'm sure that you've heard over the years about how many hundreds of thousands of dollars we've lost at the schools. People breaking in and taking the computers that we got the federal funds to get so that our young people could have the benefit of. The cameras are set up so that they can be monitored by the police. A police that's short-staffed. A police who's busy taking a report. A police who's rushing out the door to get to where the incident that they're going to give help is. And who's left out of the circle? The community. Now, you know, if we had cameras up in those schools that the community could see, ain't nobody in their right mind said they're going to break in our schools. Okay? Now, someone maybe who's not so smart, maybe, I'm not saying it would break it down to zero. So I'm throwing that out to you in the context that the next level of strategy is to empower the community. And it has made a big difference in Christianstead, just having the cameras there. But just from the psychological impact alone, you get to the root cause of, even if this person isn't good at taking care of their children and monitoring their children and disciplining their children, you have a family next door that might be much better at it, who in the process of being able to monitor cameras or whatever else can make that difference. Empower the community. This keeping it close to the chest has actually done a disservice to the police. You keep saying, we want you to participate, we want you to use Crime Stoppers, but we can't let you see it. The fact of the matter is the public would not control the cameras. They would not be able to turn them on or off or direct where they're looking. But the bottom line is, if you have a crime go down and you got 50 witnesses, it's better than having one.
That's right.
And if you got 50 witnesses who are willing to step up and say, it's better than only having one. Okay, but go ahead.
So I'm smiling because I don't know if you saw our vision statement, but one of the priorities we have set for ourselves in the next 5 years, over the next 5 years, is to work with the police department to upgrade the security camera system. One of the things we advocated for, and we're not successful in getting the police department to support, 15 years ago when we installed the initial cameras, was to partner with organizations like the I think Resource for the Disabled members of our community, retired police officers, to support the police department in the monitoring of the cameras. And so I'm smiling as you were talking, because that was one of the things we pushed hard for. We actually made connections between organizations, community organizations, and the police department to support that effort, and it didn't come to fruition. However, we are looking to the future, and we're having some interesting conversations, and we feel very optimistic about the future plans that we have on our vision statement to work with the police department to really rethink how we enter into projects like that, and how we implement projects like that and institutionalize them in a way that is more holistic and systemic, and we can include members of the community who could be of incredible service to our public sector agencies. So I'm smiling as you said all that you said, because it's on the drawing board for the foundation.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I would like to,
Yes.
to stay on top of that.
Yes.
If you can somehow keep me a part of that
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
Because think about it. The same way we use Crime Stoppers, if somebody were to drop a hint that, hey, maybe you want to look at the camera on this corner in this town at 5:30, and you will see something very interesting that maybe you want to follow up on.
Yeah.
I don't have to leave my name or so
Yeah.
forth and so on.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, it's being recorded
Yes.
by the police, and they could go and rewind and say, oh, we missed that. Okay, and there's the license plate. Okay, we've got that covered,
Yes.
and they can move on. So I guess what I'm saying more than anything is that the mindset of policing needs to catch up with not just the technology, but strategies toward getting the community involved. Okay, because you already paid for the equipment.
And you know, one of the words that we use often at the foundation, we're really, really good at, is leveraging resources. And so you don't have the capacity to do it all. The department just doesn't. They're handicapped in terms of numbers. And so how you then take limited resources and look at assets that we have in the community that could be of value to build capacity for the department is kind of the role that we see ourselves playing as these kinds of plans are being put in place.
Well, not only leveraging, but there's another group of words: low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
Okay, the community is there to play a part, but if you don't ask them and open the door for them to come in, you don't get the benefit. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So next time I'm gonna make sure I set aside two hours, 'cause I could think of so many other things I want to talk about in the process. But I think that just that point alone in leveraging, as in getting the community more involved. Also, what I said in terms of we gotta come up with our campaign team to pound the ground and go from door to door and truly make it personal for everybody in Christiansted. It'll go a long ways. Even after they don't cost you out there and say, well, at least they come and talk to us, because you always hear about this and hear about nobody come and talk to us.
I mean, today, our block party today, one of the things we decided as we were thinking about our celebration for this 25th year, we wanted to not make it just about us, but...
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, because we've been having such a good conversation. Folks, it got a party going on this afternoon, you know. They have a party going on this afternoon, and we're here talking about... See, you should have been here before, so we could have just focused on the party alone. So tell them about this party we're having this afternoon.
So yes, we are having a block party from 5:30 to 8:30. We'll have a little bit of food. It's being held in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours.
Cecily, she said food, and I see your head swing wrong. I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
And when the food is done, there's Sings around the corner, Gary's Bakery around the corner also. We've actually invited a number of our fiscal clients to set up little booths and to be able to educate the community on the work they're doing. We're asking people to bring out their checkbooks, even if it's a couple dollars, to support these projects. They're doing incredible work. Not for any real personal gain, and so we hope that we can encourage a greater environment for philanthropy in our community. I know that a lot of people want to see good things happen, but are not always committed to, being part of the process. And sometimes being part of the process is just writing a check and supporting the cause. Sometimes it's rolling up your sleeve and joining the cause. And so we wanted to, at this incredible milestone of ours, to start really engaging our community to support the projects that fall under the foundation. And we have, I think, so far 12 signed up. We didn't have a lot of space, so we couldn't accommodate a lot of our clients. Right now we have about 45 to 50 clients. So we'll have about 12 of them there, and asking people to just, learn, listen, find ways to support the work that they're doing in any way possible. So.
All right. Well, just make sure you give me a little after action report with a list of people to say thank you to. All right. And I'll make sure that the word gets out there, because.
And
I have a question.
Sorry, one more thing. I just wanted to also, because I keep forgetting that, one of the projects that we have lined up on our vision board is the old Alexander Theater. And so we've done a little bit of cleaning out of the theater, and people will have a chance to go peek in. The seats are still in there. We've restored the roof, but the theater still needs a complete overhaul. at encouraging our elected officials and our policymakers to work with us and investing in that to restore it, because we think that that would be an incredible economic engine for Christiansted. Will have probably greater impact in terms of the health and vitality of Christiansted town than almost any other project. And so we are once again trying to prod and poke our elected officials to support that project, because it's been with us for a long time, and we're struggling to get the requisite attention that I think it deserves.
Well, you know, I don't know where to start. You see, I remember going to the movies here.
A lot of people do. Yes.
Okay. And I would love to see it come back to some facsimile of that operation again, even if it's just for kids and educational movies.
That's one of, I mean, the vision. We've done a comprehensive theater study. It is, the vision for that is for a state-of-the-art performing arts center that serves our youth in particular as a training facility for our young people who are interested in the arts. So, and also for a lot of the hotels and inns that we have downtown Christiansted don't have a space to convene when their guests come in and they want to have meetings, and so it'll serve multi-purposes.
And then not only that, you know, you have like a 3D center, movies, also having that capacity to build upon that, where you're having the space rented out, so now that generates the revenue and profit for STX Foundation to now pour that back into the community to help with scholarships and other monies that, you know, small businesses may need.
Yep, we have a plan. I mean, honest, the foundation is not in the movie running business.
I gonna criticize you again. You're not sharing your vision enough.
Yes. Well.
Okay, and I think that what's happening is, you know, you're in it. You're in that room, in that environment, and you're thinking about it, and it's world scale, but you don't realize that you're in a kind of a bubble. You've got to share this, because there are folks who would be willing to jump on board, not necessarily the government.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Because I'm going to say they talk a good talk.
Yes.
They talk a good talk, but especially now, they're taking the same dollar and promising it to 5 and 6 people, the same dollar.
How much can you stretch a $1
so, in that context, please, I'm looking forward to seeing more on your webpage, more on your Facebook that shares, and we've got a lot of artists here. Maybe have them do a walkthrough and have a competition for who can draw a rendering that would win as the representation rendering of what it would look like, and so forth and so on.
That's a great idea.
Exactly.
So
sorry. I have another idea too. You see that in the billboard where we'll tell you what movie will be playing. You know, my vision for that was actually slideshow style. Would be that, okay, we have conferences this week, and they'll actually show a view listing for the month of events.
Yes, but you see, this is where we gotta get those the private sector and third parties involved, because
I have people that can do that.
Yes, you may have people that can do that, but do they have the money that can do that? All right. Okay. So now you can't just have the vision, and this is why I'm saying, well, now that we have a vision, it's time to make sure that it gets shared on the more broader context, because I'm just a little guy out there that can write that little check or give them a couple of dollars, but they have the bigger guys, some of them
deeper pockets.
with the deeper pockets.
That needs a writer.
And some of them, they just fly in here and fly back out, but you know what? They have a love and a connection to the place and something like that. But right now, all I'm saying is, you have the vision. You got to give it wings and let it go to the public.
Doing, if people understood what has transpired in the foundation in the last 6 months, the kind of work that is being done to build a really, really solid marketing strategy for all of these wonderful projects that you're right, you're absolutely right. We have been very insular in terms of our vision and the initiatives
I'm being too hard on you. I'm saying that in the sense that it's transition time. So I understand that.
We're working on it.
So,
we have done, even just look at the work that's been done in the square in the last month and a half.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to be receiving all kind of threat, you know. Don't Canton, you better leave the St. Croix Foundation alone.
No.
They've been doing this and they've been doing that and okay, folks, okay, go easy on me, please. Yes, I know they've been doing all of that, but I'm just pushing them in a direction maybe a little bit different. But as you share that vision and get the community to buy into the vision and get the little pockets and the deep pockets, we can make it happen, government aside.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Because I tired of this, we talk about coming up with this commission and this group and that group, and then you turn around and you get it enacted in law, but there is no money for it to actually come into being. And so
we have never relied on government. I mean, very few of any of the projects that we have ever spearheaded have come from local government funds. So I just want to make that crystal clear. But part of the challenge that we have is that when you go to a donor and somebody who has deep pockets, they want to know what's your community's investment and commitment in this project. And so while yes, there are a number of very wealthy people locally and abroad who would be willing to write the check for the restoration of the theater, they also want to know that the community has a vested interest in this project also. And so that's when we talk about local investment and looking at our public sector, it's not for the whole project, it's just to demonstrate their commitment to the work and the impact that a project like that will have on the community.
And it's all about the return on investment.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I want to say that this has been to this point a fantastic conversation. We're not done yet because my other guest isn't here yet, as far as I know. And so I'm holding you hostage till my other guests come here, and not because I'm trying to have a placeholder either. I love this conversation, okay? But we're gonna have to be taking a pause for the cause. And we're gonna hear that nice music that gets us going there and say, hey, this is Reflections, folks, and it feels good, it sounds good, and it is good because it has a positive and good message for the community. All right, here we go. All right, hear it there? See you in a minute, folks. This is Doug Kenton inviting you to join the conversation on Reflections every Thursday from 8 to 10 a.m. On Reflections, we discuss the positive developments in our community as well as focus on the positive that you and I can make happen. After the show, the conversation is also available on YouTube and Facebook. So tune in to Reflections on WSTX AM 970, your community-minded station.
News Talk for the Virgin Islands, AM 970 WSTX.
Hey, it's Thursday, Reflections. Good music, good people, good community activity. And you know what?
And great conversation too.
It's all leading up to a party. All right, we partying this afternoon. And Cecily, I don't want to have to put on a neck brace. No, I don't want you to have to put on a neck brace. Yes, they have some food there. And I ain't see Robert yet because you say free food and Robert Moorhead is like his antenna goes up. Code 66.
I wasn't even worried about that.
All right, we have so much fun here, and that's why I enjoy having the conversation. All right, and one of the things that I do on my Facebook page, I put up a listing of people that we've had come on, the dates that they came on, what the subject was, so that people can follow the conversation and come back to the conversation. So if you know someone that wants to know about a show that we've had, it's there on YouTube and also advertised on Facebook to make sure that the community can always go back and hold us accountable, make sure that they can say, I know because you said or she said or he said, and ask questions and get more information. Not saying, well, I didn't know, I didn't know, because that's what we got to purge out our community. We need more of our community to know, because when they know, they can get involved.
That's right.
All right. Okay. So let's talk about some of these organizations that you've partnered with and been able to help the community through these various organizations, because when you start calling names, people get that warm, fuzzy feeling. Yeah, I know them, I know him, I know her.
So one of our special projects, we have the Friends of Herbert Grigg. We have sponsor a mammogram that was actually started by Senator Riley's office. Great project that affords women the opportunity to pay for a mammogram. St. Croix Shrine Club has been one of our projects for many, many years. Project Triage, we have quite a few VIPD funds. Deaf Camp, that's another one of our special. They'll be there today at our block party. USVI Chess Federation, it's another one of our new projects that's really exciting. Juanita Gardine Elementary School Pee-wee Scholars. So we have like Boys and Girls Club has been one of our projects we've worked with over the years.
That's why I drag him in here and see Robert Moorhead looking in here. He heard free food.
He ready for that food one,
free food.
All right.
What you know?
Okay, this is fantastic because we've got some things going on in the community here, and I'm so glad to hear that the St. Croix Boys and Girls Club, the Virgin Islands, Boys and Girls Club of the Virgin Islands. Let me get it right.
That's correct.
Okay?
That's correct. Good
Let me
morning.
get it right. So we got Neil Kenton here with us, and he has that connection also with the St. Croix Foundation. So we're gonna.
We're
have you
neighbors
jump right in.
also. Yeah.
Yes,
That's right.
yes. We've actually worked together on a couple of different things.
All right,
Yeah,
so I want you to jump right on in, but if you can, just get a couple more names.
So Artist Guild, that's another one. They're doing a lot of great work to pull all of our wonderful artists together, and they have some incredible art shows. They have, I think, been responsible for a lot of artists selling their work also. So
Is that Elizabeth Keith?
Yes.
We discovered Elizabeth Keith also at the Fredericksburg Club, and she's
All
been
right.
working with the kids.
Fantastic.
She's also been bringing other volunteers into the clubs
All right.
to help us out. So she is a dynamic person.
Okay.
Let's like to publicly thank her again.
Okay.
So you guys do like award shows, like artist award
No,
giving shows?
they don't do
We
it.
don't do it.
They don't do it.
No,
They're the facilitators
We
to the
facilitate
things
the
that
projects
they do.
that do it. Yeah, we do
they're-
not do it at all.
Yeah, they're facilitators.
There are a couple of projects that we provide program management and administration support, but for the most part, all of our projects are independent and function independent of the foundation. We solely manage their funds and assist them and guide them in terms of the business decisions that they have to make. Our goal is for all of them to, at some point, those who seek 501c3 status, is to mature to that point where they can be self-sufficient. So
Well,
that's the ultimate goal.
Let me make one thing clear in terms of my perspective and St. Croix Foundation. You are a facilitator and an enabler.
Yes.
All right,
A
and that-
convener and a facilitator. Those are our number
That-
one roles and responsibilities.
Right.
Yes.
That's the way I see it. It's not for
Yes.
you to do as
That's
much
right.
as you to help other people
Don't do.
become empowered to do and to follow
You
through.
said it perfectly.
And do. Okay. All right. Any other names before we switch over?
That's it.
That's it for
you know,
now?
I'm kind of,
Okay.
if I could just say one thing, I just want to, because you talk about us not patting ourselves in the back, and I really wanted to take a minute to just sort of go down the list quickly of the things that we've done and the investment we've made in the community. So over the 25 years, we've been a conduit of over $37 million that have come through the foundation and invested into the community. And our town revitalization work, our Christianstead, the Sunday Markets Were Roadway project that was done several years ago, 12 million total dollars have flowed through the foundation for our town revitalization work. Our economic development work, over $3 million has been invested in the community. Public safety, over $1 million, education, over $1 million, and our fiscal sponsorship, over $20 million. And so as we step back for a moment from the work and really reflect on what the impact that this organization has had on this community. This stuff kind of awes us because we never really do this. We never step back and really assess what has it meant for the foundation to have been a part of this community for the last 25 years. And when we sat down and really quantified the impact of our work and our investment, we're proud. We're really proud, and we're proud that our founders, Philip Gerard was one of our founding fathers, had the vision at a time when St. Croix was in crisis right after Hugo to create an organization as dynamic as this one. And so we hope everybody will come out to join us today and to celebrate our partners and the work that we've done. And thank you for giving me the time.
Happy anniversary.
And
What
thank
Michael
you.
Jackson said, I'll be there. I hope you're going to be there too. Anyhow, it's been a
Thank you so
fantastic
much.
pleasure. And I'm going to be in touch because I want to make sure that you get a copy of this whole conversation that we've had.